When your dog follows you from room to room, it can feel cute, maybe even a little annoying. But what if that behavior is not just love? What if your dog is trying to tell you something they can't say out loud? Every time they get up when you move, every time they wait outside the bathroom, every time they stay close enough to almost trip you, there may be a message behind it. Not a random habit, not simple clinginess, not just loyalty. Something deeper, something ancient, something your dog's body learned long before they ever lived inside a human home. And once you understand what that following behavior really means, you may never look at your dog the same way again. Because near the end of this video, there is one specific moment in your day that reveals more about your bond with your dog than almost anything else. And most owners never notice it. To understand why your dog follows you everywhere, you first have to understand what your life looks like from their side. You have work, you have friends, you have errands, plans, messages, goals, problems, distractions. But your dog? Their world is much smaller. They don't have a career. They don't have a social life outside your home. They don't scroll, plan, dream about vacations, or worry about tomorrow the way you do. They have you. And to them, you are not just one part of life. You are the center of it. That is why when you stand up, they notice. When you walk away, they react. When you disappear behind a door, their world changes. This is not just emotional. It is biological. Dogs evolved for thousands of years beside humans, not just to live near us, but to read us, follow us, depend on us, and bond with us in a way few animals ever have. Studies have shown that when dogs and their owners look into each other's eyes, both can experience a rise in oxytocin, the same bonding hormone involved in deep emotional attachment. That means when your dog follows you, they may not simply be looking for food, play, or attention. They may be following the one presence their nervous system trusts most: you. And this is where it gets even more interesting. Because the closer they follow you, the more it can reveal about how safe they feel when you are near, and how unsafe the world feels when you are not. Most owners think their dog is just walking behind them, but watch more carefully. Do they stay right behind your heels? Do they move when you move? Do they stop when you stop? Do they place themselves where they can see you at all times? That is not random. That kind of behavior is often called shadowing, and shadowing is more than simple attachment. In your dog's mind, distance matters. When you move away, even inside the same house, their brain may register a tiny emotional alarm. Not because they think you will abandon them forever, but because their instincts tell them that separation from the most important member of the group is something worth paying attention to. Dogs are deeply social animals. Their survival has always depended on connection, awareness, and staying close to those they trust. So when your dog follows you from the living room to the kitchen, from the kitchen to the hallway, from the hallway to the bedroom, they may be doing what their instincts tell them to do. Stay close. Keep contact. Do not lose the person who matters most. And here is the part most people miss. The dogs who follow the closest are not always the weakest. Sometimes they are the most bonded, the most emotionally invested, the ones who have quietly decided that wherever you go, that is where they belong. But your dog is not only following your movement, they are also reacting to the places you move through, and the room they follow you into can reveal more than you think. Your dog may follow you everywhere, but they probably do not feel the same way in every room. That is the detail most owners miss. In the kitchen, your dog may move faster, their ears may lift, their body may become alert. Their brain has learned that this room can mean food, smells, treats, and activity. In the bedroom, they may become softer, calmer, more relaxed. Your scent is stronger there. Your presence feels familiar there. For many dogs, that room is not just a place to sleep. It is a place of safety. But the front door? That is different. For many dogs, the front door is the most emotionally charged place in the entire house. Because that is where you leave. If your dog follows you to the door and suddenly freezes, sits, paces, stares, whines, or becomes unusually alert, that is not drama. That is memory. Their brain has learned that this spot can mean separation. You may know you are coming back, but your dog lives more emotionally in the moment. So when you reach for your shoes, grab your keys, or move toward the door, your dog may already be reading the pattern before you say a single word. And to them, it may feel like the beginning of losing you again. That is why following you is not always about where you are going. Sometimes it is about what your dog is afraid might happen next. And that fear becomes even more powerful when your dog notices something has changed inside you.
Have you ever had a day where your dog suddenly would not leave your side? More than normal, closer than usual. They follow you into rooms they usually ignore. They sit on your feet. They rest their head on your lap. They keep looking at your face like they are waiting for something. Most people think they just want attention today. But sometimes your dog is responding to something you have not even fully admitted to yourself. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to human emotion. They notice changes in your voice, your breathing, your posture, your movement, your smell, your energy. When you are anxious, grieving, stressed, overwhelmed, or quietly not okay, your dog may sense the shift before you explain anything. They do not need the story. They read the signal. And because they cannot fix your problem, they do the only thing they know how to do. They stay. That is why some dogs become extra close when their owner is sad or emotionally drained. They are not trying to be annoying. They may be trying to hold the bond in place while you feel like something inside you is falling apart. So the next time your dog suddenly becomes glued to you for no obvious reason, pause for a second. Ask yourself what kind of day you have really been having. Because there is a chance your dog noticed your emotional state before you did. But there is another side to this behavior, and this one is much more serious. Because sometimes the most important message is not when your dog follows you. It is when they suddenly stop. If your dog has followed you everywhere for years and then suddenly stops, pay attention. Not panic, but attention. The dog who used to get up every time you moved now stays on the couch. The dog who used to follow you to the kitchen now only watches. The dog who used to sleep near you now keeps distance. Many owners explain it away. They're just tired. They're getting older. They're having an off day. And sometimes that may be true. But if the change lasts, it can be one of the earliest signs that something is wrong. Dogs often hide pain and illness. It is instinctive. In the wild, showing weakness could make an animal vulnerable. So dogs do not always cry, limp dramatically, or ask for help in obvious ways. Sometimes, they simply become quieter. They move less. They follow less. They stop doing the small things they used to do every day. Because following takes energy. Following takes motivation. And when a dog's body or mind is struggling, that motivation can fade before the obvious symptoms appear. So if your dog suddenly stops shadowing you, especially if it comes with changes in appetite, sleep, eye contact, movement, or mood, do not ignore it. That may be your dog whispering that something is wrong in the only language they have. The owners who catch problems early are often not the ones waiting for dramatic signs. They are the ones who notice when the normal little behaviors disappear. And that brings us to the moment I mentioned at the beginning. The moment that may reveal how deeply bonded your dog really is to you. Watch your dog the moment you wake up. Not after you call them. Not after you open the food container. Not after you say their name. Before all of that. The moment your eyes open. The moment your body shifts. The moment the day begins. What does your dog do? Do they lift their head immediately? Do they get up before you even stand? Do they watch you quietly, like they were waiting for permission to start the day? That moment tells you something. Because some deeply bonded dogs do not simply follow their owners during the day. They wait for the day to begin with them. Their attention is already tuned to you before you give any command. They know the sound of your breathing, the rhythm of your morning,
the tiny movements that mean you are about to wake up. And if your dog is already watching you before you say a word, already getting up before your feet touch the floor, already ready to follow before you decide where you are going, that is not coincidence. That is attachment. That is trust. That is a dog whose world begins again every morning when you do. And when you think about it that way, following you everywhere starts to look very different. It is not just a habit. It is not just neediness. It is not just loyalty. It is a daily decision. A quiet, wordless choice your dog makes over and over again to stay close, to watch you, to trust you, to choose you.
A dog who follows you everywhere is not just trying to be near you. They may be telling you that you are their safety, their routine, their comfort, their emotional anchor. And maybe the most beautiful part is that they will never explain it. They will simply show you. By getting up when you move, by waiting outside the door, by sleeping near your scent, by watching you wake up, by choosing your presence again and again. So the next time your dog follows you into another room, do not brush it off too quickly. Look at them, because they may be having the most honest conversation they know how to have, and they have been trying to have it with you every single day. If this made you think about your dog differently, like this video and subscribe, because the more you understand your dog, the more you realize they have been understanding you all along.